everyone, it is London and I am so excited to welcome you back to Happily Adventures After for this week's Hey Disney Give Me a Review. As you know, our Hey Disney Give Me a Review is your virtual concierge for all things Disney. Just like the Hey Disney feature on the Amazon Alexas within the Walt Disney World, we are here to bring the magic straight to you. Whether you're planning your trip to Walt Disney World, maybe it's Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, Adventures by Disney, or just exploring Disney dining, park experience, flights, hotels, or so much more, we're here to cover you with real, honest reviews and all the information you need. So let's dive into this week's Hey Disney Give Me a Review, which is a very interesting quick service restaurant. And it is brought to you at a DVC resort. Did you like my accent there? I tried. I was trying to make it like super fancy because DVC, Deluxe Resorts. Okay, you get where I'm going with this? And we are here to talk to you about Artist Palette at Saratoga Springs Resort and Spa. This was one we had not tried before, and we were actually, fun fact, I really wanted chicken nuggets. We were at Disney Springs. I didn't want chicken guy. I wanted like Disney chicken nuggets. So we decided to saunter off on a very long walk, which we realized was a lot farther than we thought, to Saratoga Springs. And needless to say, Artist Palette had chicken nuggets. So that's why we ended up here, which was really fun. It was a fun adventure. I really think this resort is beautiful. They do a really nice job. But needless to say, I enjoyed going to visit the resort. We'll get into the review to discuss how I feel about the menu, but all in all, we had a nice time. Artist Palette is the primary quick service restaurant and market located in Saratoga Springs Resort and Spa. And it's beautiful, it's equestrian themed, and it is a Disney vacation club, so DVZ resort. And it's nestled within the lake on Disney Springs. As I said, we walked there. We thought it would be 5 minutes. It was like 10, 15. We were slow walking, I will not lie. But all of that to say, we had a really nice time walking over and really liked exploring this resort. The resort is inspired by the charm and elegance of the Saratoga Springs, New York, known for its horse racing history and artistic flair. Much like the resort itself, the Artist Palette is calm, colorful, and filled with nods to creativity and classic designs. The spot serves as casual dining with that little dining area, so a quick service meal. It also has a gift shop and kind of like a little DVC grocery market you see in many DVC resorts, all rolled into one, which is especially convenient for guests staying in those DVC villas because you can stock up on your essentials. You have a microwave, a fridge, a stove, etc., etc. They have like frozen pizzas, Eggo waffles, so on and so forth that are in the freezer section that then benefit you within a DVC resort because the rooms are designed that way. Let's go into Artist Palette. So this quick service restaurant is located near the resort's main lobbies and just steps away from the main pool, giving it bonus points if you're enjoying a pool day and needed a casual bite to eat. It offers open seating, and during your visit, you're able to experience one of my favorite things, which is ordering at a counter and then you're given a buzzer so a cast member can bring the food directly to your table. No need to go up, send somebody to a table. Okay, is there one there? No. You're just able to go sit at a table, grab that buzzer, and they locate you when your food is ready. I think that is one of the perks and pluses of this quick service restaurant. After a long day in the park, if this is your resort, or if you're just visiting, or if you're walking over from Disney Springs, this little bit of table service magic where they bring you your food is such a welcome touch. The space is very casual and bright, and it has views of the pool, which I loved, and is a convenient access to both resort shopping and the resort recreation in and around the area. Let's get into Artist Palette more so in how we order at the counter, because it isn't like a normal quick service. Like I said, it's more, and I've noticed this at more DVCs where they bring you the food. So you walk up to the counter, you see kind of what the menu is when you go into the quick service restaurant. Then you go order at a cashier who then gives you the buzzer. In doing so, you're not up ordering like if you were at a quick service in the parks. You actually are ordering with the cast member at the register, not where they're making you the food. They hand you the buzzer, bing, bang, boom, you got yourself a deal. As I said, when the food is ready, not the resort is ready, when the food is ready, the friendly cast members deliver it right to your table, which is very effective, takes the stress out of juggling trays, searching for a place to sit. All of that to say, it is wonderful. It has a very open dining room, which features casual tables and booths with views of outside, connecting right to the resort gift shop and the washrooms that are kind of in the resort lobby. It's a very clever design, and it makes it easy to browse for souvenirs and essentials while you wait for your food, because in fair warning, You might end up taking things that you didn't expect to purchase because it's there. I saw so many different things and I was like, oh, I like this. I like this. I was like, oh, that's a nice golf shirt. Not for me. But I was like, we need this. And I was like, Mom, we should get this for Dad and my husband. And my mom's like, yeah, let's do it. And then we realized they were like $90 and we're like, never mind. We're going to put that back. We're just going to eat our food. So needless to say, you might come home with some unexpected purchases or 2 or 3 or 4. Because Disney sneaks in that retail real well. And it strikes again. I am usually bamboozled by Disney shops. And I come home with things I didn't plan on buying. But it's so much fun. All right. Let's get back into the review, because for guests staying at the villa, the artist palette also doubles as that DVC-friendly market. You'll find refrigerated and frozen items like milk, cereal, and snacks. They have frozen pizza and Eggo waffles, like I said earlier. I do believe they also sell alcohol if you are 21 years and older. I think they sell some in the fridge. I think so. I think they do at DVC resorts. And they sell a lot of other little things like you could put in a fridge or an oven or a microwave, because it is perfect for going back to that DVC room, which is equipped for doing items like frozen meals. If you're traveling with your family or staying longer than a weekend, I think the DVC resorts are phenomenal, and this extra amenity is a huge convenience. It's actually why we like to stay off property, because we have a fridge, a stove, etc., over a standard hotel room, because we like to make a lot of at least 1 meal a day kind of thing. Usually 2, but at least 1 meal a day. So I think the DVC offers a great convenience there. And I look forward to one day trying a DVC resort and staying in a DVC. Okay, needless to say, we got through that. Let's get into what we tried at the artist palette. This is where our review goes, okay? So we tried the chicken strips, served with Saratoga chips. Not fries. They do not have French fries. I want to make that loud and clear. That was a disappointment to me. Chicken strips with chips. This was, at the time we purchased it, $10.49 US plus tax. We also got a pepperoni pizza. At this point, we were just trying things. It was cold. It was in January. We were hungry. We had just walked, so we thought zillion miles. It was not. It was just from Disney Springs. But you know when it really catches up on you? All right, so we got that pepperoni pizza. So it was a fresh pizza sauce. It had artisanal cheese blends. It was pretty well done. It was $10.29 USD. We also got a grilled ham and cheese sandwich, and our side was tomato soup for $11.99. I always look forward to tomato soup in any situation. I just want to point that out. We also got a grilled Caesar salad, or a grilled chicken Caesar salad. Sorry, not a grilled, you can't grill a Caesar salad. A Caesar salad with grilled chicken for $11.99. So our subtotal, pre-tax, was $44.76. Now we add on that 7% Florida tax, and that brings an additional $3.13 to our meal. So totaling $47.89 USD. I always because I'm Canadian, like to provide that exchange rate. The exchange rate at the time we purchased this, and currently I believe, is hovering around $1.41. It's up there. I miss the days it was like $1.10. I'm old enough to know that part. Or like $1.20 even. No, I'm not complaining. I just miss it. So for this quick service meal, for 4 different basically meals, it was $67.53. I will note that none of these meals include a drink. So if you want to add on an additional soft drink or beverage of your choice, you can. That comes at an additional cost. We always have water with us, so we used our water. Before we left, I will caveat this. We didn't include this in our meal because it wasn't part of our meal. I had a headache that I needed to get rid of, and I needed a Coke. I don't know about anybody else, but Coke or Dr. Pepper, it actually for me is headache specific, or migraine honestly specific, how it happens. But Coke and Dr. Pepper can help with that and alleviate it for the time being, for like a short period of time. So I was able to go back, grab a Coke before we went back, and you can do refills. I believe it is 2 refills on your drink. You just have to wait a couple minutes, which I did appreciate. So we had that. I just didn't include it in our meal because it wasn't what we were eating. We explored the resort a little bit more, and then I was like, oh shoot, I need to kind of mitigate this before it gets too bad and before in that leeway. You know, when your medication doesn't take effect, you have that lag time. Yeah, that's why we got the Coke. Okay, tangent. So if you have migraines, as a side note, grab yourself a Coke or a Dr. Pepper, see which one works. Can't be diet. You need the sugar in it because they counteract things. Okay. All of that to say that was our meal. It was $67 Canadian plus change. During our visit, we did sample quite a few different menu items and really got a good sense of the offerings for lunch and dinner. Ordering the chicken strips, the house-made Saratoga chips came with it instead of traditional french fries. That was a huge disappointment for me. I'm going to be honest. I really was looking for french fries. I just like Disney fries, and we got there and I didn't realize it. And then they were like, no, we don't have french fries. And I was like, oh. Saratoga chips are basically kettle chips. They're good. I am not denying it. But when you are looking for french fries, there's something about Disney french fries and Coke, as a side note, that go together as one. And if you're looking forward to it, it is a little disappointing. I am not knocking it. The chips were good, but I'm just saying it was a disappointment, and I'm making a PSA because I didn't know. We didn't look at the menu before going over. We're just like, yeah, they have chicken strips. They don't have fries. The pepperoni pizza, it was all house-made, was pretty decent. The grilled ham and cheese sandwich is where it goes down, okay? All of that to say, it isn't, in my opinion, we're going to get into more of the perks of this. I don't think for this meal, especially at a DVC resort, so a deluxe resort, the cost is not like out of pocket, exceptional, oh man, range. It was actually for 4 meals pretty good. It was like $10 a meal, which is right around Disney's normal points. Now, we didn't get a drink, but that was fine. For the purposes of this conversation, we did not get our drink then. However, I do think with the exchange, and honestly, this is what it would have cost too back in Canada. Like, the exchange rate is pretty relative. We would have paid that much for all 4 of those things. If we went to any quick service location, there's not. In Canada, I'm using this as an example. However, the taste, I don't think for the meal was the best value. All right, so we just talked about why I don't think it's the best value, and here is why. Well, the atmosphere is calm. It was very pleasant. It was really, really quite sweet. We actually sat at a table and saw a family probably of 8 plus. I don't remember the exact number. They were all sitting there playing cards with their meal because were staying at that resort. Another family was over in the corner and they were on their check-in day. And then they had another family. It wasn't a busy time. There was another family going through the gift shops because they were leaving. So getting those last minute things. It was so sweet to watch all the families be together. Especially like the one playing cards. I thought that was really cute over the meal. All of the atmosphere was incredible. The restaurant itself is very calm. It's pleasant, like I said. The service is wonderful. The poolside was bloody freezing when I went. We're just really late on this review. It was freezing when I went. Like, I was wearing a jacket. It was so cold in January. We were there during a cold front. Needless to say, nobody was on the pool. But going over to the food, I honestly think it was a letdown. Every item we had tried had one thing in common, and it was that it was over-salted. The pizza, yeah, it was good, but it was over-salted. The chicken and the sandwich, and I don't know how you mess up on Disney chicken strips. They're all the same. They taste so good. They were over-salted. The sandwich, that ham sandwich, was incredibly salty. The tomato soup, I love tomato soup. Super salty. It was like licking salt. Even the Caesar salad, again, had the taste of salt. So having those be very salty, all the real flavors were overpowered about by everything salty kind of thing. Like, it was just salt. And it wasn't just one thing, it was everything. Now, to be fair, the kitchen could have been having an off day. We had all those items at one time. Maybe it was just the seasoning. It went sideways. But for a location like this, where the convenience is key and you're at a DVC resort and the menu is fairly standard, it is disappointing to find that the simple comfort foods like a pizza or a sandwich and soup, chicken nuggets, all of that really missed the staples on the mark. Another factor in it being disappointing, as I said earlier, there are no french fries on the menu. Sometimes little kids, you want those french fries and you cannot deviate from the other things. Or adults, right? We want our french fries. Like, I was really looking forward to them. Instead, everything comes with the Saratoga chips. Now, they are charming and they are themed to the resort and they are very good. I like salty chips. I will note that one. It's like french fries. They can have salt on it. It's a deal breaker if you have picky eaters or somebody who loves Disney fries or you just wanted them. So if your group is expecting french fries, know that that's another classic Disney item that is not there, which did bring why I would not recommend this place at the time. Where it does perk up is that it is a DVC marketplace. I think that setup is really well done. So if you're staying in one of the villas, having access to the groceries, snacks, alcohol, frozen meals, beverage items right there in your resort, next to the gift shop, next to the quick service, makes those grab and go items for last minute ingredients, vacation comforts, etc., all while being in one area is awesome. The space is also very quiet compared to the other chaoses of various food courts. Now, I've been to the food court quick service restaurants that have like little DVC areas, for instance, in Animal Kingdom Lodge and Wilderness Lodge. I find this one at Saratoga Springs a lot more comfortable and laid back than the other ones. Those are also usually by Magic Kingdom, so you get more people, it attracts more. Needless to say, I think that aspect, so the DVC area and kind of the way it is set up, is really well done. And I think if you're looking for something outside of Disney Springs, or you want just something low-key and convenient, you want to check out a very nice resort, this will fit the bill and does so very, very well. The food that day, maybe not. However, the DVC point on, no pun intended, the DVC point on DVC points, get it? No. But the point of it being DVC is really, really excellent. All right, so let's get into the pros and cons of this, because just like in life, there are pros and cons to anything. A pro of this quick service restaurant at Saratoga Springs: it is convenient for resort guests, pool goers, and anybody who wants to get out of Disney Springs. It is right there. Another pro is that the food is brought right to your table with a buzzer, and I think that's great. One, if you have small children, so you don't have to get up and get it. I think also, or somebody who has mobility issues. Two, you don't have to fight people to find a table and then go back and get your meal. And if it's just you going down, you're like, oh no. I also think that if you're coming back from a park day or the pool, it's just nice that they bring it to you. It's very convenient, and I quite like that. So I think it's a small but excellent perk. I also like that the gift shop is connected, because while you're sitting there browsing, you can just put your buzzer on the table and just have a moment. Disney likes when you spend extra money in the gift shop. That's why it's there. Needless to say, I really did like that, and I restrained myself from making extra purchases. But it happens, right? And I think it's a nice way, all in one area. I also think it has a great selection of groceries and essentials for DVC guests, and it is really, really nice. Even, for instance, I'm trying to think of other ones that are similar to that, and one that comes to mind is the Beach Club. So having that be a DVC marketplace, gift shop, quick service area, I think this one is done way better. It's a lot quieter. It's a lot more spread out in the way it kind of sets up. And I would recommend this setup, not food, setup over Beach Club. So I'm trying to paint pictures if you've been to different places. Now, let's get into the cons. In our experience, and we are reviewing our experience at the restaurant, you may have a different experience. The food was extremely salty across the board. It was like somebody dumped salt. Anybody been to Red Lobster and noticed how salty their food is? Yeah, it was like that. We had Red Lobster a while ago because that was my grandma's favorite meal. And we did that in honor of her. So, needless to say, I'm just using that. It is incredibly salty. Additionally, a con is there's no French fries. That really got me. So I wanted to include it as a con. And lastly, it may not be worth the detour if you're staying at another resort completely off property. If you are here for Disney Springs, great. If this is your home resort, great. If you were coming purposely to come look at this resort, parked at Disney Springs, walked over, great. However, if you are staying at Art of Animation, it is late at night, and you just wanted to come over, I think you're going to have a far bus ride back, because you have to go to Disney Springs and then catch a bus. I think it's going to be a far trek back. And I don't think that much of a detour, unless you're going to actually purposely see it, right, isn't going to match the cost and the food quality that we had. So, needless to say, I will recommend Artist Palette only if you're staying at Saratoga Springs Resort and Spa, or if you are coming over from Disney Springs, or if you want to just see Saratoga and this is what you have for food. If you want something nearby and casual, staying at this resort, coming to see this resort, or Disney Springs that isn't something in Disney Springs, there are a lot better options at Disney Springs. As a side note, it's there. It's a functional quick service with the option of convenient extras, but it's not something I'd truly be like, I'm making a trip over here for. Now, as a side note, there are a few places I would make a trip for. Wilderness Lodge, I will make a trip for that. Grand Floridian, I have and will make a trip for that, to purposely go eat at these quick service locations. Beach Club, not my favorite. Contemporary, I have made a trip for that only if I'm at Magic Kingdom. So you see where I'm going with that? To me, this isn't Gasparilla Island Grill. This isn't anything on Wilderness Lodge. This isn't, some people absolutely positively adore the Polynesian, will go over for quick service there. It is not for me. However, if you're staying at this resort, I think it is a good option. If you're poolside and just want to snack without venturing too far, it really does fit the bill. Lower your expectations on the salt, on the flavor. It could be changed by the time this is up, right? Needless to say, this was our experience, and I just want you to be aware of it. However, I do really like the ambiance, the seating, and the cast member service. Everybody was so kind. I also really liked that the views of the pool were there, and we did not feel overly crowded or rushed. However, overall, I would have to say the food was so salty, it really did distract from the entire experience, and I cannot say I would recommend coming back to it. So overall, I give this a 2.5 out of 5. I get points for atmosphere, convenience, and the DVC perk, but the major deduction was for the flavor and also the basic lack of fries when you really want fries. However, the Saratoga chips were good, but you see where I'm going with that. All right. So, needless to say, this was our Hey Disney giving a review on Artist Palette at Saratoga Springs, a quick service restaurant. Let me know what you think about this. Do you believe that Saratoga Springs is a great resort? I think it's a beautiful resort. Truly do. Do you love the quick service here? Do you think it's not that salty? What has your experience been? What's your favorite thing on the menu? Let me know in the comments here. Also on our Instagram, which is at Happily Adventures After. Don't forget to check out the corresponding blog post and let us know over on the blog, which is happilyadventuresafter.com. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, do whatever you have to do to be a part of our community here. Share your stories because that makes it so much more fun, and please follow along. With all that, we are out for our Hey Disney Give Me a Review. My name is London. I am so grateful to have you here. I hope you have a blessed and magical day, and I will see you real soon.